Dwayne in Texas, how are you?
Hi. Sorry to interrupt tonight. I just
No, it's not an interruption. I think it's helpful. This is an opportunity for all of us to connect and talk through this because I think this is it's not just the trauma that these kids are going through. I feel like there's a traumatic moment of American identity happening right now.
Oh, absolutely. My family is of German and French descent, and my uncle Greg, he had a son named John, and Greg tried to explain. He was one of those, I don't know if you know it or not, but there's a town outside of a small town in Germany called Weimar, Weimar, and he was one of the people that the soldiers, he was German, so he was one of the people that the soldiers sent through Buchenwald to clean up after the Nazi camp. He was a civilian there. Mm-hmm. And he told stories to his son, Uncle John, and, he's not my uncle's cousins, but, that's, in the South, we tend to call him uncle out of respect, but he told stories to his son about what to watch for and how things would go. And
really,
they were shown. He said that when Hitler rose and the way that they were at the time, there was economic downturn for the German.
Correct. Yes,
time.
There was, and they needed a scapegoat for it.
He played on that racism and anger, and he got them where they were doing better financially, and Sessions was wrong. In the beginning, they were shipping people out.
Oh yeah, the Sessions reference for folks who aren't aware. We have this audio too. Actually, Dwayne, if you don't mind, if you can hold with us, so that since you mentioned
Sure.
Sessions, but I want to get back to what you said. But we have this clip. This is clip number 4 of what Attorney General Sessions says about the comparisons being made to Nazis, and he's asked directly about them. This is what his response is.
Well, it's a real exaggeration. Of course, in Nazi Germany, they were keeping the Jews from leaving the country, but this is a serious matter. We need to think it through, be rational and thoughtful about it. We want to allow asylum for people who qualify for it, but people who want economic migration for their personal financial benefit and what they think is their family's benefit is not a basis for a claim of asylum.
So, Dwayne, it's interesting what Jeff Sessions just did there. He pretty much made up a fact about history first.
And they've been doing that quite a bit.
Right? So it starts with that. That's some of what happens. That's a propaganda tactic. Like you make up a story about what's happening or what the history is. And
well,
then
that's what Uncle John said. He's in a home, and I go and see him, but he mentioned that his dad said the same thing. They were making these stories out, and that's one of the first things they did, just like they're doing now. They're changing history. They're not allowing history to be taught. Civics in school, they're trying to change what happened, trying to pay for schools to change the stories. Well, the first thing that the Nazis did was they burned the books, the histories.
Yep.
They started getting rid of everything, and then they shut them off where they would only listen to what they were told from propaganda that they had. I mean, they showed them that the camps where they were being held would look like there are filmings of it where it looked like they were having a ball and all that, like a summer camp. But that's not true.
That's another reference you're making.
Said.
Okay, well, Dwayne, keep holding, because I'm going to get back to you now. I just want to throw in this so people also know, and this is great, because you're bringing in all these references to what happened and what people have been saying publicly. Folks, this is clip number 3, Laura Ingram's saying that it's her description of what these camps are like.
So since more illegal immigrants are rushing the border, more kids are being separated from their parents and temporarily housed in what are essentially summer camps, or as the San Diego Union Tribune described them today, is looking like basically boarding schools.
Dwayne, what's your reaction to Laura Ingram?
Well, according to what it's, it's amazing. It's like these people haven't picked up a book and read. They only showed certain things. I mean, it was said real clear in news that isn't from Fox that they were not allowed to see other sections.
Oh,
they
yes.
weren't even allowed to see
We
where
don't
the
know. We
girls
don't.
and
Yeah,
the
we don't.
children
Exactly.
are.
We have no idea where the girls are. We have no idea what's going on with toddlers and infants anybody who's been there, because trust me, I'm there right now with my toddler, require a lot of care and attention.
Uncle John said this is how it started. This is what started it off. They cut off people and said no other news of the Western world or anything like that is true. Only what we tell you.
Oh my God, that's exactly what
only
Donald
listen
Trump
to
says. He
ours.
says, just listen to me. And actually, Kirsten, this is what Kirsten Nielsen said over the weekend to the sheriff. She said, don't listen to the news. These kids are doing fine. Don't trust the press. These kids are doing fine. The press's job is to show what's really happening, to create transparency, to force the power, to force government to be transparent. And in fact, that's what they're doing. We right now on the show are demanding that we want answers. We want to know where the girls are. We want to know where the toddlers are. Because I tell you, the images of the boys don't look like summer camp to me. These are boys who are laying on mats on the floor are surrounded by chain link fence, and they've got those foil sheets that are supposed to be blankets. That's it. That's what these kids are getting. That is nowhere near what I would give my child. Absolutely
Uncle John
not.
Uncle John didn't think it could happen. But his father, he really worried that it would happen one day. But I mean, he didn't live long enough to see it come to this deal. But this is how it started. And if you take some of Adolf Hitler's quotes and things that he said in the German paper and translate them, they're frighteningly close to this.
But can I tell you, Dwayne, I feel like there's a lot of people who still want to play ostrich. They want to put their head in the sand and say, no, you're being dramatic, Nayyera. Nayyera,
that's what Uncle Greg did. That's what John said his dad did. They put their head in the sand. They only listened to one side because they were afraid, and they were doing well. But they were doing well on the price of blood. You people, do you really want when all this is over with to have to walk through those damn camps and see it? Do you really think there's only one piece of news that's true? I'm a decorated Desert Storm vet, and I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't let this go by. I didn't fight for this country for this shit.
Amen.
To let it turn into this. You sticking your head in the sand or watching Fox saying that they're the only ones that are true, that's ridiculous. Look at our country's history alone without the Germans. Indians, Irish, black. You're letting them scare you into the same thing that was done in Germany. And I'm telling you right now, I heard it from someone who actually was there. You want to be a fool, fine. When you walk through those places and see what happens, it's on you.
Bingo.
I apologize.
No, Dwayne, listen, like I said, I'm hearing you. I hope other people hear you, because I know I'm going to get a call or two tonight. I know, where people say, you're being dramatic, you're exaggerating, don't make Nazi references. And I needed someone like you I needed someone like you right now. Thank you.
If you have never stared down the barrel of a gun or heard bullets come by and that loud whistling noise, or had to put someone in your sights that was a child, I mean, the word fear for my life that they're using nowadays, that's chicken shit. Mm-hmm. I feared for my life, but I wasn't allowed to blow away civilians. If I busted into a room, I had to take a chance that I might get shot at, but I was a man. I wasn't a coward that just shot first, or a racist hated them.
And you know what I'm really glad, Dwayne, is that you are, by giving the example and sharing the history of your family, you are reminding people of what is possible, what can happen. And I'm telling you, because our education, our education funding is terrible. Our defense funding is phenomenal. And because they don't want us to know. People
And that
and
wall-
and the ostriches that exist among us would rather not know. They would rather not know than be awake and have to deal with the reality. And I am more, you and I sound like, and I think hopefully more of our listeners, and maybe we'll get some more today on our side, is that it is better to be awake and deal with reality. Because at least then you can do something, and you can do something good. Dwayne, thank you for being with us today. Please do not apologize for speaking the truth and for bringing emotion to this, because I think that's what's going to keep us human. And what we need right now, what we read right now, is we need to be human. Thank you so much for joining us, folks.